Hey there, YouTube. This is Broken Stoic, and we're here to talk about touching butts. Whoops, wrong video. My bad. Ogre and I sat down and went over this build, the Shadow Knight Rogue Shaman. Together, we went over the expectations, playstyles, and a general foundation to build on. Let's get into it. Ratings. For single target DPS and kill speed, we rated this a 4 out of 5. Rolling as many dots on a single target while auto-attacking and backstabbing just feels great, and the sustain from Shadow Knight Shaman is just unmatched. Next up is AoE damage, and this build brings Infectious Cloud, Word of Spirit, as well as the ability to click many of the PB AoE items obtained through the Cleric Epic Quest, including Fen and Roe Helmet and the Greaves. You can either kite or face tank using Rabid Bear, Torpor, and or counterattack. So don't fear. Tons of mobs, you got this. This build gets a 4 out of 5 for experience gain. It has two methods of leveling, through either massing heroic decks and assassinating your way through humanoid mobs, or using Infectious Cloud and Word of Spirit to PB AoE. With the use of poisons, life taps, mortal coil, and killing spree, you can sustain your way through early levels without the want or need to twink. I haven't found a single target you can't put this build in front of that it can't knock down. The level of sustain, the level of mitigation, the rolling damage means you have many different approaches to every fight and can dynamically approach almost any game mechanic without feeling left out. This is a 5 out of 5 on content clearing. For skips, we gave this a 4 out of 5. You can use Shroud of Stealth to become invisible to nearly any NPC in the game, and have a slightly long cooldown aggro drop from the skill Escape about every 5 minutes. These things used in combination can net you a free roam around almost any raid or dungeon location of your choosing. The mind-blowing part of this build is that there are a ton of items to get, either be it clicky items or weapon swap outs or even shields. This build doesn't really need much to come online and just work. The class combinations just mesh so well, so we had to give it a 3 out of 5. You can pick this character combo up as a first class and buy some poisons off in the bazaar, and once your free poison wears off, you just take on pretty much anything. Leveling will be fast, rating is a breeze. We did have to dock at a few points because, frankly, if you want to play this build to its greatest ability, you really need to get either a good shield, the Rogue Epic, a handful of clicky items, and there's quite a few spells that are actually drop only, and you're gonna need to get them. You'll likely want to have a Prismatic Scale of Torment, a Prismatic Scale of Affliction, and you can either go real hard on heroic decks or spell damage, or some blend between the two. Either way, there's a fair amount of items to farm, but you don't have to. For AA, this build is a 4 out of 5. It just doesn't need much more than the initial 150 AA to really take off. The synergy with the classes really boosts everything with every AA you purchase, and it just feels like this build was intended. The only thing that hurts it is that there are so many AA to get in total, over 4,000. AA path. This is a rough guide of what AA you are going to want to follow. I put these in a general order, but it will really depend on what gear you have, how twinked you are, your leveling path. There are a lot of variables to think about when it comes to defensives, like combat agility, combat stability, natural durability, physical enhancement, etc. It really comes down to feel. Do you feel like you're just getting obliterated by things? Then take a couple of, defensive skills. Do you feel like you aren't putting out enough damage? Perhaps you need to buy some AAs that increase your damage. Put some points into the AA that will cause damage or tank the way you want to play. Don't really take this as a do this now guide, but more of a guideline. The AAs we landed on that we recommend you focus on are the following: Envenomed Blade, Virulent Venom, Soul Abrasion, Spellcasting Fury, Fury of Magic, Critical Affliction, Blood Tithe, Greater Blood Tithe, Steadfast Will, Rabid Bear, Hastened Rabidity, Touch of the Cursed, Theft of Life, Destructive Fury, Destructive Cascade, Weapon Affinity, Malosinate, Turgor's Swarm. Spell bar. These are just some of the recommended spells to have on your bar until you get the idea of what content you are doing and what NPC can resist certain damage types. I personally try to stick with poisons. This feels a lot better with the prismatic scale of torment that extends the duration of your dots. Life Spike, Drain Soul, Vampiric Curse, Ancient Scourge of Knife, Bane of Knife, Blood of Pain, Envenomed Bolt, Venom of the Snake, Envenomed Breath, Tainted Breath, Mallow, and Cripple. When AoEing, I typically swap out Mallow and Cripple for Infectious Cloud and Word of Spirit. If something is immune to poison, meaning its resist to poison is so high you can't get it low enough to reliably land any poison type damage on it, look at what that target can be hit with and swap to that. You have access to fire, disease, magic, poison, and even cold damage. Remember, one of the best parts of this build is its ability to adapt to every single fight. Gearing. So we're going to go over stat focuses. If you're looking to focus on dots and procs, you'll want to focus on the following, in this order. Spell damage, healing power, AC and mitigation, heroic agility, health, and consider the benefits of using a dagger and shield as opposed to 2 daggers, at least in the early stages. If you're looking to focus more on auto attacking and fishing for crits, heroic dexterity, attack, accuracy, AC and mitigation, heroic agility, and this build is obviously much better to benefit from the dual wielding with a dagger in the main hand and whatever in the offhand. You also could do some sort of hybrid build between the two, and I think focusing on spell damage or hybrid actually provides the best results when you reach the end game. And so focusing on things like spell damage and healing power, AC and mitigation, and then focusing on things like attack and heroic agility can be pretty vital. Additional notes. This class combination allows you to utilize many procs, but I specifically want to talk about poisons. When leveling, using Anger of the Shazar is probably the ideal path to take. You will gain access to a new tier of this every 5 levels, and it provides you with a direct damage proc in the form of a duration-based buff. It should be noted that some poisons have charges, or reflect a number of times it will proc before it wears off. These typically do not proc as often and are not really worth getting. When you begin hitting raid content, you will want to look at either using Anger of the Shazar with a poison damage type, or Perillian Burn with a fire damage type, or Geladran Lament with a cold damage type, depending on the fight. While I think many people sleep on the Rogue epic, the poison phobia that it procs really benefits this build, and even if you don't use it as an active weapon, it makes a great weapon to swap in and out so you can apply the debuff to poison resist and gain additional damage. The Shaman epic is also way too easy to obtain not to keep it around just for a free clicky magic dot that behaves like a splurt. That means it's a damage over time that increases its damage with every tick. Getting a lot of resists? Remember that Shaman AA Mallow actually stacks with the casted Shaman Mallow. This, coupled with the poison phobia and or insidious malady, can allow you to reduce a target's resist into the mud, allowing you to land spells you often wouldn't otherwise be able to. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video, and I'm really sorry that it took so long to get back into the series. We recently made partner on Twitch and we're able to monetize on YouTube, and everything's been so busy. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button, and I promise to get more of these videos out in a very near future. If you have any questions or constructive thoughts on this build, please drop a comment down below or come hang out in the stream Tuesday through Friday from 4 p.m. until whenever the hell we feel like quitting. And take it easy. Enjoy.